Hey guys, my name is Russian Badger, also known as the Russian Catfish to one of you out there. There was a gentleman on my previous video, he posted a comment just saying, the Russian Catfish with an exclamation point. And he found it quite humorous. I found it quite humorous, and you know who else found it quite humorous? Was half of my PlayStation's friend list. They insisted on, for 3.5 hours, calling me the Russian Catfish. And that just brings some sunshine to my day. How wonderful is that? Now moving on from issues regarding Catfish and or myself, I'm going to perform a maneuver here called killing two birds with one stone, or as the third grader might want to refer to it as killing two stones with one bird. I actually prefer that one. The second one sounds a lot more sophisticated in my personal opinion. But what I mean by killing two birds or killing two stones with one bird, or the other way around, whichever way you prefer it, I'm going to fulfill two specific requests with one specific gameplay. That's quite intriguing if you ask me. And what I specifically mean is, Muppet Jr. requested that I use the Scar L with the M93R and no sights, as in no ACOG, and no red dot sights, which is quite difficult if you ask me, because I would compare the Scar L to Celine Dion music. I don't like it, so if that paints you a picture at all, this setup is quite painful to use. I wouldn't recommend it, but I definitely know that I can perform with it adequately. It's not exactly an M60, but it's not exactly a F2000. And I'm not trying to insult the F2000. The Scar is just not one of my favorite weapons. And for some reason, the recoil, it doesn't have a whole lot of recoil, but the way that it spreads and the way that it shakes, it's this horizontal recoil at longer ranges. I really don't like it. But the M93R, I have actually got double sprays with it somehow if you fire from the hip and you're close to them. That's just something that occurs and happens to me quite a bit for some reason. And the other setup came from 0.10 TV, and he said, I want you to use an SMG as an attacking engineer, but I don't want you to use the Mark Carl Gustav, I want you to use the RPG. And as you guys previously saw, the RPG does not have the splash damage that the Mark Carl Gustav does. But as you saw earlier in the gameplay, the RPG has better damage against tanks. And really, when contrasting all the different rockets, obviously the AT-4, it can't use the tracer dart, and the other two can. And also, too, if you want to shoot down helicopters, things of that sort, you're definitely going to want to go with the M2 Carl Gustav because it has the fastest flight time, as in the fastest speed to its target. But I think the RPG is a good hybrid between the two, and that's what he requested. And I had a bit of an asinine occurrence here with this gentleman, but I do mow his face off with the M93R, and right here. What are you doing, Catfish, and what are you doing, Carl? I don't know if you guys ever experienced this when you're playing online with Battlefield Bad Company 2, but it is an hourly occurrence where I just have these gigantic situations where I just say to myself, what are you doing? Like, what kind of logical thought process led you to believe that would be an intelligent and positive decision for the team? Sometimes I just say, why? Why did you do that? But then again, I know I'm not in the position to complain because obviously it's their sophomoric ability and it's their own stupidity that leads to my knife going through the posterior communicating artery in the brain, as you saw twice just a few seconds ago. So I really can't complain. And with that being said, I want to discuss my squad with you. My squad was absolutely phenomenal in this specific match, and that consisted of Sonic Chaos 007, Capone Boy, and this other guy. I don't exactly like saying his name in-game, so I just call him G-Man. I hope he's okay with it. He doesn't have a microphone, so I wouldn't know. But one specific thing that some of my teammates like to do quite frequently is just relax on the railing out here for some reason. I don't know if he's having a martini, what he's doing, but I revived him there. That's not significant by any means. But what happened was, on this specific objective, we got A first, and then B was just laying there. But they just stacked that building. I don't know if it was some kind of family reunion in there, but they were all inside that building, and we were trying to flush them out with RPGs, and the building just happened to collapse. It was not our plan, but that's what happened. So we move up, and just as a general rule, I don't think I need to tell you guys this, but flank the left side every time with Arica Harbor, you won't run into any enemies. And you might say, that's a lie. No, literally, every single time if I flank left on any set of these objectives on Arica Harbor, I will never see an enemy. That's plain and simple. I don't think I have to break that down for you. From the first to the second to the third to the fourth. Any of those objectives, flank left side, you'll have tremendous success. As personified here, and no, I actually wasn't playing originally with a shotgun, obviously. I just acquired it from a teammate. I grabbed his medic kit and revived him, so obviously we switched kits. And I run into a weird situation here. I revived this guy and somehow I didn't kill him. I got one shot off and the pistol, it just wasn't enough. And I die here, so I'm back with the Scar. And I get a few snipes here, but just to illustrate the long-range capabilities of the Scar, in my personal opinion, are slightly limited. I personally think that I can do better with a UMP, just my preference. And although I can snipe people with the RPG, I don't always have full confidence in the Scar when I'm participating in those longer range engagements. I would actually be more comfortable, believe it or not, with the PP2000. And that's not a joke. Although I do get a little double spray here from medium range, and I get this guy creeping up on us. Don't creep up on us, catfish. Leave us alone. Okay. So I would almost rather use the PP2000 because I don't know if you guys have ever used a PP2000 without a scope or even with an ACOG scope. It's got virtually no recoil. Even with an ACOG scope, if you tap fire that, you can snipe people on virtually any map. And I don't know if you saw that, but I just absolutely sniped that guy with a grenade. And I'm going to have another one of those in just a few seconds here, so be looking for that. So if you guys really want to see me use that, I can show you what I mean. If you put on Magnum ammo with a PP2000 and an ACOG scope, that is absolutely horrendous. And it is extremely effective, but I don't know if you guys really want to see that because that can almost be frowned upon, but if you guys really want me to show you what I mean, I can show you what I mean. And the M93R is not exactly my first choice in pistols. It's not amazing, but if you spray from the hip in close quarters, it's quite effective in my personal opinion. And although I do get a little bit of a range kill here, that's not real common for me. And are you ready for it? Alright, buckle up your seatbelt. Just wait for this. You ready? Ready? Alright. I'm going to turn to the left here. Wesley. Snipes. Ugh. I am really getting into grenade sniping. It's quite fun. And as I said, as I previously mentioned, flank the left side. You can go in that water all the way down to that ladder that's an extremely long distance away. But when in doubt on Arica Harbor, stick to the left side. There are other methods. You can switch up between objectives, like you can flank the right side and then you flank the left side, but if you're really ever in a bind or if you're unsure, you're inexperienced, the left flank, you will never go wrong. And even if I do meet some resistance, I know I previously mentioned, oh, I never see anybody, that's a bit of an exaggeration, but even if I do see somebody, there's never enough resistance to where it's a problem to me, like I'm not going to get there. So the left flank, I know I've said left flank millions of times in the past few minutes, but can't go wrong with the left flank. I'm going to leave that alone. And as you can see now, we obviously got the objective planted quite handily, but I had some weird switching weapons issues, and I tried to reload instead of switching back to my Scar, which I believe had some ammo in it, but I get mowed down by an LMG. Such an advantage. He wasted about 30 shots before that, and then just... I'm not going to complain. I'm not in a position to complain because in just a few days I'm going to release an MG3 video for you guys. So I am in no way, shape, or form in position to complain. And here is quite an odd occurrence. I'm going to get two guys with the Scar, and then I'm going to switch to the M93R, and then I'm going to be totally out of ammo almost. So I just said, you know what? Why don't I just fire an RPG at the ground? And it worked somehow. And that guy didn't get me. So I'm going to reload my Scar. I'm going to go back into this room one last time, and I'm going to get one last catfish in here before I move on. And really, getting objectives was not a huge burden for my team by any means. We flanked different sides. We really communicated with each other quite well, even though only two of us had mics. I guess the other two guys were listening quite well because they did exactly what we recommended, and they also had some good plans of their own. And here, my plan here, I know it's an odd occurrence for me to go up into this green building that's behind the objectives, but I like to hold the guys off that spawn way back here, and then I can also sort of pick off the guys in the construction building because I've got a good vantage point. There you go, spraying and praying, but I still outdo him here. And then I realized, you know what, I'm not going to get a whole lot of action in terms of enemies in the specific locations. Then I jumped down, and for some reason I did not meet a lot of resistance. You know, I obviously wanted to get some kills to finish out the gameplay here, but I said B. I believe my teammates got A, and I'm going to move on from there. I'm looking around these upper levels, I still can't find anybody. Usually I find some catfish lurking on the MG there, but I guess not. And maybe it's just they all went towards A. I don't know what the specific scenario was, but they just weren't around me for some reason. Then I'm going to shoot one here. I'm going to drain half or a third of my clip into this guy, but since he just spawned, he has immunity. And he's invincible, and he blasts me in the face with a smash shotgun, and what better way to end a gameplay? And I'm going to end this gameplay, as I said, by looking at this gentleman's odd physique for just a few seconds here. I don't know why it showed that animation instead of the actual game-ending animation, but obviously we win. And I get a good look at this guy's fanny pack on the back of his back. I don't think you were on the same page that I was right there, but I'm going to release the MG3 gameplay for you on Monday, I believe. Yes, Monday would be a good day for that. So I will see you guys next time. My name is the Russian Catfish or the Russian Badger, whatever you like to call me. And I will see you guys later.